If you struggle with putting your needs first, this video is for you. Hey everyone. If you've been to my channel before, welcome back. If you are new, my name is Ross and I'm an intuitive counselor. Today's topic is putting your needs first and talking about the struggle. And I have to say from my own experiences, the struggle with this topic is very, very real. And so let's first start with the origin of why we would put the needs of others first. And really, it's quite creative. I mean, if you think back to your childhood, you might find that you inherently put others first. And the reason you might have done that is because you were creating a strategy to get your own needs met. And so what happens is it's like if we don't feel like our needs are met, we will look after the people around us in an attempt to get our needs met. So it's kind of transactional. It's like if I take care of others, they'll take care of me. The problem is that it's pretty rare that that actually occurs, or it's pretty rare that someone will meet our needs the way that we meet others' needs. And so what is born as this early pattern and this early way of solving a problem becomes problematic because as we go into our later relationships, we continue that pattern and we can continue to put others first and we continue to take care of others before ourselves. And before we know it, this is something that goes on and we don't even realize it's happening until someone calls us out on it. And the very idea of taking care of ourselves first seems foreign. But here's the thing. The thing is that, and this is a reflection from my own experience and my own, reflecting on this topic and coming to some awareness for myself, and you might relate to this dynamic. This pattern is born from a belief, and I'll just speak in my own, context, is that I had this belief that nobody was there for me. And that was rooted in my feelings of abandonment, rejection. My abandonment story runs deep. I may have talked about this in other videos. And so, this idea that nobody's there for me, my solution to the problem is I'll be there for everyone. And what would happen unconsciously is that no one could be there for me as good as I was there for them. And or no one would be there for me. I wouldn't get back what I was hoping to get back in this transaction. And so that actually created this underlying resentment, which is, furthering this idea that nobody's there for me. But the truth of the matter is that I'm there for everyone but me. And that I'm there for everyone but me is super problematic because that's where the resentment comes from. That's where you start to get frustrated, and all of this is happening unconsciously. You don't even realize that you're getting that upset with others and holding other people to this high standard. And in the end, the truth of the matter is that what really needed to happen and what that transaction really needed to look like is that I'm there for me. And boy, let me tell you, that I'm there for me, that was a hard pill to swallow. That was such a foreign concept. It just didn't make any sense to me. And I think I limped along for quite a while with that, you know, playing out that dynamic in all sorts of ways, and very creatively, because even when I became aware of it, I would just circumvent the truth. And and then one day I was talking to a friend of mine who is quite wise, and she actually channels information, and we were having a discussion, and she shared a piece of wisdom with me that really changed the trajectory of this dynamic for me. And I think we've all heard the analogy of, on a plane, if the oxygen mask falls down, you put the mask on your children first. And I know several times that I've heard people hear that analogy and they're like, oh, no, 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 you put your child's mask on first. And, I won't go into this one because I think that, what I'm going to bring up is even more potent than that example. And the example is this, and this I'm so grateful to my friend Linda for sharing this with me, and I've continued to share this over and over and over again because it just really, in my opinion, gets to the heart of this issue. So her source shared this message with me. She said, "You can't just breathe out." So I'll say that again. You can't just breathe out. And the bottom line of that is that if you're only taking care of others, it's the equivalent of only breathing out. And I think you'll know quite quickly, hopefully you feel it the way I felt it when I heard this, is if you don't breathe in, you don't live. And so you have to breathe in. And so that for me was a game changer. That idea of I have to breathe in was a really important thing for me to hear, because when I heard it in that context, all of the sudden I needed to be accountable for myself and I needed to become more aware of my choices. I needed to become aware of the impact this was having and how it was creating problems in my relationships. And so from that moment on, I really just had that expression in the back of my head. Am I breathing in or am I breathing out? And I think in a previous video, I've talked about self-love, self-care, and all the ingredients of that. And this ultimately is an act of self-care, this breathing in. And I'll just invite you to refer to that self-care video if you want to get into the specifics of how you can begin a self-care practice. So yeah, I think I will leave it here. I feel it's important to say that your needs are important. It's important to say that you have a right to take care of yourself first. And yeah, I'll leave it there. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you got value from it and feel someone else would benefit, please feel free to share it. If you got value from it, please like it. And if you are interested in my offerings, you can visit my website. The address is in the description. And if you have a topic that you think would be interesting for me to share in these videos, please write that in the comments as well, because I love to be in response and sharing and responding to people's topics. So thanks so much for watching and sending you unconditional love. Bye for now.